there, bold one. Welcome to the podcast. This is part 2 of the Actor Mindset Reset. So if you haven't listened to part 1, I suggest you go back and do that. But if you have, then let's get into it. Okay, this is all about how to turn that list that you were making in part 1, that list of disempowerment, to a list of empowerment. So the first thing that you have to do is face the truth. Sorry. And hey, look, I'm not trying to shame you here. There is no shame in this. I just want you to face the truth and make some changes. Because remember that you are exactly where you should be. And the revelation that you're having today came exactly when it was supposed to. And it came because of the accumulation of your life's experiences that have led you to this point. So because it wasn't until I faced the truth about my circumstances, so what were my circumstances, I was getting middling auditions and middling results as an actor, because that was... there's no better way to say it. That was what I was worth at the time. It wasn't until I stopped complaining and kind of pointing my fingers at everyone else except myself that I could actually ask the real question. The only helpful question, by the way. What do I need to do differently in order to get a different result? So what would that look like? What would I have to change? My effort? My framework, my marketing. I wanted extraordinary results, but I wasn't doing anything extraordinary to get these results. So what would I have to change to get the results that I wanted? I had a conversation with a young actor yesterday, and I ended up on the call with him for a very, very long time, much longer than I think was productive for me, certainly. Smart young guy, very passionate, very motivated, very ambitious, and honestly kind of delusional. So, his whole attitude was, he basically described himself as a rising star. He was saying he was getting 3 to 5 major network auditions per week. So, of course, I'm like, hold that thought. I went and looked him up on IMDb. The guy over the past 10 years has 11 credits. So a little 1.1 jobs per year. Something was going very wrong here, right? And it was either that all of a sudden he was getting this big rush, but as the conversation went on, that wasn't the case. Or that he was deluding himself into thinking he's on this perfect path. He's exactly where he should be. He's on his way to reaching his goals. He's on the right road to reach those goals, and he's not. He even said something to the effect of, IMDb doesn't count. Nobody under 30 cares about IMDb, which just crazy. Not that, you have to base your life around IMDb, but it is the industry standard for looking into companies, what's being filmed, what jobs people have done, their connections, their contact details. Just on and on and on and on and on. IMDb is real. Very, very real, which obviously I don't have to tell you that. You are aware of what's going on. But I was just sort of gobsmacked by this guy. I really was. He even called it out. He was like, you just seem so shocked by what I've said. And I was just like, my God, what planet are you living on, kid? And come back to reality. And that's kind of what I'm trying to say to you as well. Maybe your heads are not in the clouds. Maybe they are. I don't know. But if you want to get on the path of reality, like a real path towards your dreams, you must face reality. So that's the first part of this transformation exercise for you. Ask yourself these questions. The second part is, what does the life that you want look like? So if I were like a little fairy and I floated down from the ether and I land on your shoulder and I said to you, hey, you can have any career you want as long as you can describe it to me. And I can only give you what you can describe to me. So think about it and describe the career exactly as you want it. So be really, really specific. Don't just say you'd be happy just to be a working actor. I mean, I'm not talking about settling for the lowest levels of your dreams. I'm asking you to be truthful with yourself about what you want, even if it scares you, even if it feels bigger than you have a right to want. You need to acknowledge what it is that you actually want before you can begin to create a plan and a strategy to get it. So just humor me here. Unless you're driving, close your eyes for a minute and picture yourself in the middle of that life. What does it look like? What are you doing? Who's with you? What are you feeling? Because there comes a time in everyone's life when it's not just about success. We all want significance. We all want to feel significant. So what do I have to believe about myself so that my life has significance, so that my contributions matter, so that I am an important part of the industry that I love so much? So think about where you are now and where you want to go. What do you need to change about your beliefs so that this part of your life, this part that you're living in right now, looks minuscule in comparison to what you achieve? What does that life look like? If you could flash forward into the future of that life and give yourself some encouragement, I mean, like, say all the things that you have achieved from that vantage point of having already achieved them, what would you tell yourself? I know for me, I wrote down several things. So for me, one of the things that I wrote was I have a deep and loving relationship with my husband, Matthias, who is my best friend. My son is happy and healthy and lives nearby with his wife and children, and we see them and enjoy their company regularly. We're all fit and enjoy a level of comfort that some might call luxurious. We have lots of fun together as a family. We live near the water and only fly to places that are cold to go skiing. I'm able to work in films and TV series that are important and impactful, and people respect my talent and contribution. I am globally connected and respected. Sometimes I have to turn down bookings because I just don't have time, but that makes me much more purposeful about what I choose to do. I have 2 dates to go to award ceremonies with, my husband and my son, and I am continuing to make a huge impact on other actors' lives by empowering them to take control of their careers. So all of these are some form of goals that I've set for my future and places that I would like to get to. Of course, I love my husband. Of course, we have a good relationship, but it could be better. Of course, my health is good and I'm pretty fit, but it could be better. Of course, my career is pretty good and I work steadily, but it could be better. So I want you to think about, I want this part of my life that I'm in right now to look like a speck, like a grain of rice in a bowl of rice. And I want that bowl of rice to represent the life that I am living. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? Or am I just being crazy with my metaphors? Those are my goals. What are yours? And you're like maybe feeling resistance to what I just said. Your dream doesn't have to look like mine, but you need to create a vision of your future so that you have a destination. Because when you have that destination, you can work backwards from there and reverse engineer how to get there. And I have another suggestion for you. Actually, I have 2 suggestions. To keep this vision fresh and alive in your mind's eye, write out all the declarations of who you are going to be as I listed mine, and read through them every night before you go to sleep. That's going to give your little subconscious some time to work on that stuff, to make it real, to start envisioning it first in your dreams. But that gets it into your body, into your dreams, which will work its way into your reality. Make sure that you are using declarations sentences that start with I am and not I want. That's why I said above, I have, we are, I am, right? So make sure that you're using declarative sentences. And then what you do is write yourself 10 emails using the voice of your future, your more successful self, congratulating your present self for accomplishing certain goals. And then you schedule these emails to be sent on a specific day. Maybe your birthday, once a year for the next 10 years. So it's literally writing out your 10-year plan as if it's already happened, and then going back and doing a check-in. It's holding yourself accountable. So this means that once you have your declaration of who you want to be and what you want to accomplish, you then need to figure out when you would need to accomplish each of these goals, right? That's how a 10-year plan works. For example, whether you have a partner or not, you could put it out there that you want a partner with whom you have a wonderful relationship. So if I were writing this to myself, it would sound like this. And I am so proud of you for putting in the work to deepen your bond to Matthias. It's a give and take, but in the end, you both win. You've been going to the driving range once a week, not because you love it, but because he does, and he really appreciates your effort, which, by the way, is also benefiting your golf game. Winky face, whatever, something stupid, right? You see, I write the email as if it's already happened. I don't play golf at the moment. I'm planning on supporting my husband more by trying to play more golf. So let's break that down. I first need to change my belief around putting in more consistent effort, having the effect that I want. And then I actually need to change my behavior, which in turn changes my husband's behavior. If you want a different reaction, give a different reaction. You see, I change my belief, then my strategy, which changes the outcome. Look, we are complex. We can hold two different realities of ourselves at one time. I can hold the Anne, who I am now, and the future Anne, who I am becoming. Conflict is what we deal with as actors on a daily basis. So this is a piece of cake, right? Think how powerful those two little exercises could be in changing not only your beliefs, but also your actions and ultimately your outcomes. I know you're probably thinking, yeah, right. I'm asking for a lot. Who do I think I am? But to be honest, I had to work through a lot of my own limiting beliefs around money and being an actor. It's practically hammered into our heads that to be a real actor, we need to suffer for our art. I remember that in acting school, people who had suffered for their art sort of being held up as these heroes, these paragons of like what we should be striving for. So I don't know about you, but I definitely had that idea in my mind. So I had to work through that and come to the decision that I deserve to live a comfortable life. I deserve to live a comfortable and a free life. Free in the sense of being able to do what I want without having to worry that if I go out to dinner on Saturday, I'll be eating ramen noodles for the rest of the week. Money, for me anyway, is just freedom. And I decided that I deserve freedom. My other limiting belief was around the lack of suffering, meaning a lack of talent, right? That if I didn't suffer enough, I wasn't talented enough. So that was a limiting belief that I held. You know, as I said, we were kind of taught this, or at least my generation was. But I know even in conversations that I've had with much younger actors that that's still going on. So first of all, I've had more than my share of difficult situations in my life. So my suffering quota, frankly, has been met. You hear that? Not into any more suffering anymore. Thank you. But all kidding aside, do you think that Meryl Streep or Olivia Colman's talent suffered as their bank accounts rose? I mean, come on. Seriously, of course not. And my third limiting belief was around being fearful of investing in myself and spending money on myself. So, and this came from a couple of things, but let me explain it first of all. For instance, I would say I didn't have enough money to get new headshots or attend a workshop, but then I would turn around and buy myself a new dress or a new pair of shoes. I mean, it just didn't make sense. I would spend money on something that wouldn't directly affect what I was saying that I wanted for myself, my acting career. This is when I was much younger. Don't do this anymore. And then be afraid to spend money on my personal development. But the truth is, when you invest in your personal development first, the money comes. When you don't do it, the money doesn't come. So it's sort of like this big spiral, right? This like catch-22. We have to invest in ourselves as actors, because if we don't invest in ourselves, why should anyone else invest in us? That's what production companies are doing when they book you, right? They're investing in you. And a lot of money. Films, television shows, these cost a ton of money to produce. But it starts with you. You have to believe you are worth investing in. So is any of this triggering you? If it is, I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry, maybe. Do you do these things? No judgment, seriously. But again, first you just need to be aware of what you do before you can decide whether or not you want to change. The other day, I was coaching a member of my Get Better Roles program, and she had an epiphany on our call. She was telling me how she was riding in a tram with another actress, and they were both coming back from rehearsal. And this other actress started saying she was done acting. She was just sick of all the rejection and not knowing what to do and feeling overwhelmed and feeling like she was doing everything right and still nothing was happening. And that she just wasn't making a difference. She wasn't just able to move the needle on her career. And my client, Ivana, I love her, she tells me that first she was kind of dumbfounded because this other actress was saying all the things that she had said, that Ivana had said, just a few months before she had joined my program. And then before she knew it, she was encouraging the other actress, telling her, yes, you can do it. You just have to change the way you think. And she was crying as she told me, that she realized her thinking had shifted as a direct result of doing our mindset work. And she wasn't even really aware of it until we were talking about it. I can't tell you that, I mean, for me as a coach, that was one of the most beautiful gifts I've ever received. As a human being, honestly, to know that I have had such a positive effect on someone's life is truly moving to me. To know that I was responsible for helping her change her limiting beliefs that were literally holding her back from becoming the actor she was meant to be. I mean, it's moments like that they are the reason that I coach. But also knowing how powerful exercises are like that, like the ones that we just went through earlier in the podcast, making your future tangible to your present self, that is so important. We have to bust those limiting beliefs that are holding you back. That's actually why mindset is the very first pillar in my 5-pillar program. But what I'm saying is the journey of transformation begins with asking yourself, what do I believe right now? What does my vision look like? Like, declare a belief from who you are when your life is how you want it. I was going to say perfect, but life will never be perfect, right? And success is a moving carrot. And as we achieve goals, we create new ones so that we continue to grow and develop and stretch as human beings. But still, you must declare it from the belief of who you want to become. What would that look like? And then it's the process of, I know for me, I do things at different times, but I will literally just write out who I want to become and read it before I go to sleep every night. And when I wake up every morning, and I just keep it in my notes on my phone. And I get these declarations, these beliefs into my body. I put myself in rooms of where I viscerally get exposed to a greater level of mindset. The reason why I join programs or work one-on-one with coaches myself is because I understand the value of being exposed to a greater belief system. It exposes me to a belief, a framework, a strategy that I didn't have access to. And not only the how or the what it is, but also the implementation of it. Because information, we're all savvy. We can all figure things out, internet, books, videos, whatever. Information is cheap. It's the implementation that is precious. So if you follow me at all, one of my favorite things to say is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And if you don't know me, welcome to one of my favorite sayings. I think it is so important for us, especially as actors, to stretch ourselves, reach beyond where we think we can go in every way, to continually challenge the idea of what's possible. Sometimes it's just taking that first step. I recently committed to joining a very expensive coaching program. Very expensive, almost $10,000 expensive. And then I needed to quickly figure out how I was going to pay for it. Do you know, the very next day, I got a call from my agent saying they wanted to add another year to a buyout that I had from a commercial I had shot the year before. And that was actually double what the course cost me. So problem solved, right? Sometimes you just need to declare where you're going and what you want so the universe can help you get it. And I'm not a woo-woo person, not really, but I do believe in energy. I do believe in making declarations, in putting it out there, in putting that energy in a certain direction. Otherwise, it's just sort of flying around, helter-skelter, like random, like spaghetti on a wall. I don't know. It's be more focused. And that way, the energy that's out there can help you. Sometimes you just need to declare where you're going and what you want so the universe can help you get it. So I hope that was helpful. Look for part 3. We're going to wrap this up in part 3 next week. Until then, you stay your bold and beautiful self. See you then. Bye-bye.